My sister lost her memories, but she acquired someone else's. We lived a normal suburban family life before the accident. Whatever nasty secrets we had around the neighborhood were to never be uncovered. Our favorite uncle was driving the car on that fateful rainy night. They were coming back from the movies. They had watched Ugly Doll. He didn't survive the crash. I thought that Mom was going to fall apart, having to endure the simultaneous loss of her beloved younger brother and her precious baby daughter. Yes, despite being 5 years younger than me, her only brother, Roxanne, was still the baby of our family. The car had been rendered shapeless, a twisted mess of metal and mourning. But somehow, Roxy lived. I cried when I saw her at the hospital right after the accident. Her tiny figure was all purplish and swollen, covered either in awful bruises or in thick bandages. Her scalp was open from side to side like her brain was planning to escape. The pretty hair she loved so much was gone, so the doctors could perform surgery on her, then close the giant wound. We were all scared. Dad was a quiet, non-emotional man, but you could see the suffering in his eyes. My sister survived, and as soon as she woke up, she asked to see me alone. She had always trusted me the most, and seeing her placidness felt like the only good thing in my life at the moment. "Bernard, you know Frida?" she asked. Frida was a girl younger than Roxy that lived across the street. It was strange that a random acquaintance would be the first person to pop on her mind. "Yes, what about it?" "She's not Mr. Allen's daughter. Her mother actually had a lover." I didn't know what to do with such random information, so I asked my sister how she could possibly know about it. "I know that you're my beloved brother, Sammy, and who Mom and Dad are, but I don't remember anything as Roxanne. I have all Mrs. Allen's memories." She went on about our neighbor's life in detail, and of course I had no way of finding out if most of those things were true, but it was uncanny that Roxy knew things that happened while she was blacked out at the hospital. Mrs. Allen's mother was learned that she was terminally ill, so our neighbor was planning a trip to Chile to be with her family, and that she had a minor surgery to remove her tonsils. Roxy had brain surgery. Weird things happen. As long as she was recovering, and she was, I decided to leave it alone. I didn't tell my parents that she was seeing other people's memories, I only mentioned that hers seemed to be fuzzy. We visited my sister every day until she was stable enough to be dismissed from the hospital. Almost daily, she would ask to talk to me alone, and tell me someone's secret. Most of them were inane things, like someone cheating on a test or letting their dog poop on the yard of a neighbor they didn't like. As I said, the typical suburban life. Most of them. The first crime she uncovered was a minor one. Someone had spray-painted her on a girl's car. Roxy was already recovering at home by then. "Please, Bernard, you gotta give the police an anonymous tip," she pleaded. "Since I don't have my memories anymore, I want to at least use it for the good." I was unwilling to involve myself in other people's dramas, but after she explained to me who did it, Davidson, the biggest asshole of my year, I decided to cooperate. Davidson had always low-key bullied me, and pretty much everyone that didn't hang out with him, but things got worse after he heard me talking about a girlfriend. He publicly shamed me because he refused to believe that at the time I was dating a girl that went to another school. Said she didn't exist and that I would die a virgin, you know the type. But it still hurts. The police did find the spray paint cans at his house, and the girl's neighbor had incriminating footage of him. A few days later, Davidson was suspended from school and had to do community services. I heard his parents were furious. Justice was served. That's when I grew to like my sister's weird power. She uncovered plenty of minor crimes, then some thefts and cases of child neglect and abuse. I happily helped her, calling the police, then keeping a watchful eye to see if our actions had fulfilled their purpose. Roxy still had a fragile health and terrible looks, but she was never happier. I should have known that every single one of these cases was building up for her grand finale, her Black Swan act. My sister was unnaturally pale when I brought her breakfast this morning. Mom and Dad had already left for work. Slowly, things were going back to normal. "Hey, what's up?" I asked, unprepared to what would follow. She broke down crying. She was just a kid, after all. "Bern, why? I woke up with your memories today." I tried to swallow, but the saliva felt like steel. How could I explain to Roxy that it was because of her? That I couldn't be a father at 17 unless our parents helped me, but they wouldn't because their baby daughter had just miraculously survived and her medical bills were ridiculously expensive? That my religious girlfriend refused to get an abortion, but she also didn't have the means to raise a kid alone and demanded that I married her? That we got into a huge fight and she attacked me physically first, And the next thing I remember is holding her broken neck tightly with both hands, and trembling at the sight of her bulged eyes staring at me in hatred and pain. That I didn't stop and got rid of her body, feeling luck that she lived the next town over and we only saw each other a couple of times so her family and friends didn't know about me. Roxy knew all of this. She saw it. She just couldn't understand why. But one day she will. One day she would. I hate myself. I am the most despicable human being to ever set foot on earth. A hypocritical scum that will have to live with his sins forever. Still, I do not regret my decision to put Roxy to sleep with a pillow over her face. At first, she struggled, but now, she looks more peaceful and angelic than ever. Despite being incredibly scared, I'll probably convince everyone that she died in her sleep.